Hey, what's happening, people? It's Odd Eyes Ian, and today we're taking a look at my updated Salamangreat profile. And we're doing it so soon because I made a mistake in my last video. I didn't realize until I was editing the video that I needed another Violet Chimera, another Fusion of Fire, and a few other things. But I've taken the time to make the deck a little bit better, and I'd like to go ahead and show you guys what I've done. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the deck profile.
Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and tear right into this. Most of it hasn't changed, as I probably said in the intro, so I'm not going to read every single card, but I will give a gist on what things do. Starting off with 3 Salamangreat Foxy. Whenever he's normal summon, you get to excavate the top 3 cards of your deck and add 1 Salamangreat card to your deck, shuffle the rest back in. Just gives us an extra card. But if this card is in your graveyard, you can add a face-up spell or trap that is on the field, and you can discard 1 Salamangreat card, special summon this card, and you can destroy 1 spell or trap on the field. You can only use 1 Salamangreat effect, 1 Salamangreat Foxy effect per turn. We're also running 3 Salamangreat Spinny. He gets to make things bigger and throw himself to grave, just to special summon himself back if we control another Salamangreat, so it's just a plus body on board. But he does banish himself if we do special summon him this way. 3 Salamangreat Foul if we control another Salamangreat monster, or sorry, if a Salamangreat monster except for Foul is normal or special summon during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. But you can also send 1 Salamangreat card from your hand or face up on the fields or the graveyard, and then target 1 spell or trap in your opponent that your opponent controls, and that set card cannot be activated this turn. So it just puts a delay on things on board, which is also really nice. We're running 2 Salamangreat Jaguar. If this card attacks a defensive position monster, we get piercing damage. If you control a Salamangreat Link monster while this card is in your graveyard, you can target 1 Salamangreat monster in your graveyard except for Jaguar. Shuffle it back into your deck, and then special summon this card to zone your Link monster points that you can only use each effect once per turn. We're also running 2 Falco. It's kind of similar to Jaguar, but if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 Salamangreat spell or trap in your graveyard and set that card on your field. If this card is in your graveyard, excuse the cat, you can target 1 Salamangreat monster you control, except Salamangreat Falco, return that monster to the hand. And if you do special summon this card, you can only use 1 Salamangreat Falco effect per turn, and only once that turn. Moving on, we are running 2 Salamangreat Mole. If you link summon to this turn, you can special summon this card from your hand to his own link monster points too. If you control no monsters, you can banish this card from your graveyard, target 5 Salamangreat cards in your graveyard and shuffle them to your deck, draw 2 cards. So it's just a great recursion card. It's a great late game card, and it gives us an extra body on board early game, so it works out in multiple layers. Salamangreat Mole. We're also running 2 Salamangreat Raccoon. It's a protection. If a Salamangreat monster is targeted for an attack by an opponent's monster, I can send this card from my hand to the graveyard and target those 2 monsters that would battle. Gain life points equal to that of the attack of the opponent's monster. Also, your targeted monster cannot be destroyed by battle this turn. When your Salamangreat monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, while this card is in your graveyard, you can add this card to your hand. You can only use this effect of Salamangreat Raccoon once per turn. I have 2 in here just in case 1 gets banished, because it does recur itself, but there's always the chance that someone's going to call by the grave or whatever to get rid of my option, and that's why I have a second one in here. Moving on to our one-ofs. We have a Salamangreat Mirror. If this card is added to your hand except by drawing it, you can reveal it and special summon it. You can also discard 1 other Salamangreat card and special summon this card. You can only use each effect once per turn, but it just gives you options to be able to special summon it. We're also running 1 Salamangreat Fennec. Cyber's monster you control that was the special summon from the extra deck is destroyed by battle or opponent's card effect, you can special summon this card from your graveyard if it was there when the monster was destroyed, or hand even if not, but banish it whenever it leaves the field. If this card is sent to the graveyard as material for a link summon of a link 2 or higher Cyber's monster, you can add 1 Salamangreat normal spell from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect of Salamangreat Fennec once per turn. This is another main deck way of getting Sanctuary into your hand. And of course, we are running Salamangreat Gazelle. I'm not going to talk about Gazelle because we already know Gazelle. We already know Beat Bison. He's been around for a long time, but I run a Beat Bison in here just for an extra body. late or early game. But that's all of our Salamangreat monsters. We're gonna go ahead and talk about Ash Blossom. Again, everybody knows Ash Blossom. I'm not gonna talk about Ash Blossom, but I run 2 Ash Blossom in here. I also run 2 Flame Buffalo in here now. It's just a great way to, if we have nothing else for our starting hand, we can get a couple of pluses. We can start off our board with a Link Summon and just continue on from there. But that does it for all our monsters, actually. We're going to go ahead and move on to spells and traps. Alright, starting off our spells, we are running 3 Signet Mining. Of course, it's a Cyberus deck. It's going to be one of our staples for the deck. Just so we can get extra things going. You can send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard and add 1 level 4 or lower Cyberus monster from your deck to your hand. You can only activate 1 Signet Mining per turn. And now a new thing that we're running. I realized I made this mistake while I was editing the last deck profile, but now we're running 2 Fusion of Fire. And we also have 2 Violet Chimera, but we'll get to that later. 2 Fusion of Fire just so we can use that Violet Chimera Reincarnation Fusion Summon ability. That's purely the only reason, but it's a fusion card. You know what it does. Moving on to Salamangreat Sanctuary. I only run 2 because it's so easily searchable in this deck with Fennec and Phalanx. It just makes it's so easy to get it out. I don't think I need 3 of them in here. But moving on to Will of Salamangreat, it just gives us an extra special summon, and you can send this face-up card from our field to the graveyard to target 1 Salamangreat Link monster we control. That was Link summoned using that was Reincarnation Link summoned. Special summon monsters from the hand and or graveyard in defense position up to the number of that monster's Link rating. You can only use 1 Will of Salamangreat effect per turn and only once per turn. So we get an extra special summon, or we can go ahead and plus off of our Link monsters. 1 Salamangreat Circle, because we're only allowed to run 1, and I understand that. You can add 1 Salamangreat monster from deck to hand, or we can target 1 Salamangreat Link monster we control. That was Link summoned. That was Reincarnation Link Summon. I'm just gonna stop myself halfway through each one of those. That Link monster is unaffected by monster's effects this turn, except by its own. You can only activate 1 Salamangreat Circle per turn. And now we also have, sorry, bad grammar. Salamangreat Recurrence. You can target up to 2 Salamangreat monsters in our graveyard with different names and add them to our hand. If this set card is destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 Salamangreat spell or trap from the deck to the hand, except for Recurrence. You can only use each effect of Salamangreat Recurrence once per turn. I forgot about this card to search out Sanctuary as well. But that's all our Salamangreat, or all our relevant Salamangreat cards. A few other texts that we're running in the deck. We're running 2 Cosmic Cyclone, and then that does it. I forgot about the rarity on that one. Oops. 2 Cosmic Cyclones, and then to cap out our main deck, we're also running a Salamangreat Roar and a Mirror Force. Everybody knows I love to run Mirror Force in every deck because people don't expect it. I actually, in my tournament that I'm playing right now, Mirror Force has saved me a couple of times. But that does it for our main deck. Give me just a second and we will do extra deck. Alright guys, starting off with our extra deck, we are going to correct the mistake that I made in my last video, and we are going to talk about the 2 Violet Chimeras that I am running now. Violet Chimera has a Reincarnation Fusion effect, but if this card is Fusion Summoned, you can make its attack become equal to half of the combined original attack of the materials used to summon it until the end of this turn. Once per battle, during damage calculation, if this monster battles a monster whose current attack is different than its original attack, quick effect, you can double this card's attack during damage calculation only. If this card was Fusion Summoned using Violet Chimera as material, this is the effect that we couldn't use before. If it battles a monster, that monster's attack becomes 0, so we get an attack doubling effect for us and an attack reducing to 0 for our opponent, which I think is going to be really awesome, and I cannot wait to use that going forward. But moving on to the rest of our extra deck, starting off with 3 Salamangreat Pyro Phoenix. We run 3 Pyro Phoenix just for the option of being able to go into a first one and then being able to do a reincarnation. The third one's really just for late game, if I'm being honest with you. But everybody knows Pyro Phoenix. Salamangreat's a very popular deck, but I'm going to move on to, we're running 3 Salamangreat Heat Leo, 3 Heat Leo for the same reason that we're running 3 Pyro Phoenix. It just makes things easier, so we have an option to go into as well as the reincarnation Link Summon. We are also running 2 Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf. Only 2 because I don't use Sunlight Wolf as much late game, and it's not as potent late game in my opinion. And now I'm only running 1 Salamangreat Phalanx though. One Phalanx, because it's so easy to get into my Sanctuary now, and I don't really see the need to sit on a second Phalanx on my extra deck. But that's all for our Salamangreat cards in our extra deck. Now we're moving on to just a few texts now. We have added a Transcode Tucker, we have added a Splash Mage, we have added an Update Jammer, and we have added a Nightmare Phoenix. All these cards are going to just do nutty things for this deck and allow us to plus so much more and just do crazy things, which I'm going to show you in a test hand. So if you give me just a second, I'm going to go ahead and shuffle it, clean up, and we're going to go ahead and do a test hand for you. And 3, 2, 1. Alright guys, so let's shuffle up and do a quick test hand for you guys. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. And do a quick cut. Ooh, a little bit higher than that. Add a stack, shuffle it in. Add a stack, shuffle it in. And do one more little half cut there. There we go. Alright, let's see what we get here. We got a Spinny, we got a Fusion of Fire, we got a Jaguar, Ash, Cosmic Cyclone. Okay. It's not terrible, but it could be a lot better. So let's see here. We're gonna start. Ooh, this is interesting. Okay, we're gonna start with the Jaguar actually. Jaguar is gonna link off for Phalanx. Phalanx effect. Sanctuary's on bottom. Cool. Still gonna shuffle up. Going to use Spinny's effect on Phalanx, so throw it to grave. Then we're going to use Spinny's effect, special summon it to Phalanx's link. We're going to link summon for Sunlight Wolf. So then we're going to activate Jaguar's effect, and we're going to great. Jeez, I'm really grasping at straws here. Jaguar's effect's gonna put Phalanx back in our extra deck. Choose special summon it back to Sunlight Wolf's link. I don't have an option for Sunlight Wolf right now, so we're gonna go ahead and link for our transcode. Transcode's effect is going to go off to give us our Sunlight Wolf. And technically we have a Salamangreat monster and a Link monster. So with that, we can go ahead and activate Fusion of Fire. And get our Violet Chimera out. Actually, Violet Chimera doesn't have to go there. And then we can activate Sanctuary just to have Sanctuary on board. But then we've got as well a couple of options to protect us. It's not the best test hand, but we did manage to get Violet Chimera out on board. Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and go again. And this time we're going to give ourselves a 6th card, so like we're going second. So, I want to do this crazy as a shuffle this time because you guys are seeing me shuffling already throughout. So might as well just do this one quick. Alright, what do we get? We got a raccoon, we got a mole, we got a sanctuary, we got a raccoon, we got a fowl, and we got a jaguar. Okay. Not the most gas. I don't know why I don't run. That's why, because it's only running at 1. But that's fine. So we're going to go ahead and play around. And we're going to go Jaguar, which lets us go foul, which lets us link off for 1 with foul to get our Phalanx, which we don't need to use Phalanx's effect right now since we have our Sanctuary in hand. And then we can go ahead and use Mole because of its effect. We can special summon Mole to Balinx zone, I should say. Then we can... Ooh, interesting. Then we can link off for 2. And get our Splash Mage. I know, interesting choice. Splash Mage effect. To grab our Foul Out. Oh, yeah, this is really interesting. Link summon. We're gonna link summon for 3. For your Transcode Talker. Transcode Talker effect. It's gonna give us Balinx. Balinx effect, or sorry, Balinx and Jaguar link off for Sunlight Wolf. We could go Pyro Phoenix. We could screw around and go Pyro Phoenix. Nope. Nope. I don't know why I'm not getting gas for these test hands, but you guys see that the deck at least functions and I know what I'm doing with it, and that's the whole intention of these test hands. But that's where I'm going to go ahead and throw it over to the outro, guys.
Alright guys, so that's where I'm going to go ahead and leave this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, don't forget to let me know by hitting the like button and subscribe and hit the bell so you know when I upload new videos. Follow me on social media. All my links will be down in the description. Have a good day, everyone. I'll see you next time. Peace out.